All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started. I want to thank you all for coming here today. My name is Jonathan Gulliver. I'm the State Highway Administrator. As we are with all of our trail projects, I'm elated to be here today. These are always great projects, and today we have the exciting opportunity to break ground on this extension of the Northern Strand Multimodal Path. When complete, this 1.9-mile extension will connect 6 communities with non-motorized transportation option and will provide the link to local resources around the City of Lynn and the Nahant shoreline. So biking to the beach is going to get even better, especially on a hot day like we're going to have, or many hot days that we're going to have coming up this week, hopefully with some more sun next time. This project will also eliminate a travel lane and construct a 10-foot wide two-way bike lane separating adjacent traffic with a 3-foot curbed median. In addition to the minor intersection improvements that are also happening, traffic signal upgrades, timings, modifications, proposals, generally a lot of stuff that's going to make this safer for all road users across whatever mode that you're taking. It's going to be a better path to be on. I'm excited first to introduce Mass DOT's Secretary and CEO, Monica Tibbits-Nutt. The Secretary is a champion of both multimodal transportation and the environment, and she appreciates the importance of projects like the Northern Strand. She knows this path will enhance accessibility, promote physical and mental well-being, and boost economic development for the region. Please join me in welcoming Secretary Monica Tibbits-Nutt to the podium.
You all are too good to me. I just want to thank you all for being here today, and I especially want to thank Mayor Nicholson for hosting us. We are going to be spending most of our day here, going around, meeting more people, so we're really excited to be able to be here. I also want to thank all the advocacy groups that played such a huge role in this. I've worked with many of you on many different projects, and I'm not surprised that you all turned out to make this happen as well. And for any of you that know many of these groups, they're not just fighting for bike paths here, they're fighting for bike paths throughout the Commonwealth. This extension is going to continue to enhance the Northern Strand Trail to help better connect the people of Lynn. And this is something that we are working on throughout the Commonwealth. Last year, we added 20 miles across the Commonwealth, and we are looking to do even more this year. We want to make it easier for people not to have to own a car, and make it easier for people that do own a car to not have to use it. So it is not just about recreation, it is about continuing our multimodal options. Visiting this strand on any day, you know it's going to be packed. Not even when it's just hot, but it is. All year round, people want to be out here. People want to be out not just getting some exercise, but working with their friends, being out with your kids. This is a place that really just continues to enhance an already amazing city. This currently has about 1,000 people a day using this. That is 30,000 people a month and 360,000 people a year. That is huge. We do not see that on many of our bike paths, and I think that that is just going to continue to grow. I would be remiss if I did not remind everyone that the Sumner Tunnel is currently closed. Yes, I do feel the need to go everywhere and remind everyone, but I think especially for this city, it is important to remember that it is closed. But working with the mayor, working with the rest of the delegation, we were able to actually provide free Blue Line again this year and reduce fares for the commuter rail and ferries, including the Lynn ferry, which I just got to take the other day. And if you did not have enough reasons to live in Lynn, I think that ferry is probably another one. Yes. And that also came about because of many groups like you. And the mayor and Senator Crichton fought for many, many years to be able to have a ferry of that quality running quite a bit longer last year and will continue to grow as long as we possibly can. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out today. Thank you for your support over several years, and thank you for hanging in there with us as we get this built. I will now hand it back to Jonathan.
All right, thank you, Secretary. And you know, I want to build off of what the Secretary said about how these projects require great partners. We always have great partners wherever we do these. And I do want to recognize a couple of key people that are here today. For starters, I think everybody knows Lynn's own Tom McGee, who's now our board member, has had thank you. well known in the area, has held many local roles, and has been a longtime advocate for all of the work that we do. This project is also taking place in District 4, and I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize our district staff, many of them who are here today, led by Paul Stedman, who I know is somewhere in our crowd. There he is, Paul. Thank you. And as I like to point out, if there's problems with this project along the way, Paul will give you his number before we leave. So, as the Secretary was saying, though, we have a great partner in the city, and I'm really pleased to introduce our next speaker, Mayor Jared Nicholson. Mayor Nicholson is known for his commitment to the community engagement and for really highlighting important local projects. As part of the design, the project team and the consultant held listening sessions throughout the city to gain input and enhance the vision for this path. And really, I speak for all of Mass DOT when I say that we really, truly appreciate the partnership that the mayor and his staff have had with us, along with the local community, to make this happen. Infrastructure remains a top priority for the mayor, and I'm confident that he will be thrilled once this project is complete. So please welcome Mayor Jared Nicholson to the podium. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that introduction. We are just so excited to be celebrating this moment. And there are so many people to thank because this was such an important collaboration. So thank you so much to MassDOT and the Secretary and the entire team here for your investment in this project. Thank you to their colleagues and our friends at the Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs and the whole team there. Our state delegation is in session, but Senator Crichton, Representatives Cahill, Capano, Armini have been great supporters of this project, and we appreciate their leadership. We have some incredible allies from the community that have driven this project forward for some time, and I want to thank Bike to the Sea for all their work on this. Thank you to the Solomon Foundation for supporting this work over the years. And if we're talking about looking back at how we got here, we also need to thank again my predecessor and friend, Mayor Tom McGee. This has been hard work throughout the process, and we wouldn't have been able to get it over the finish line without our friends and allies in the community. And I want to give a special shout out to the folks from Mass Senior Action. Lynn Main Streets, the Chambers, others that stepped up with Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, so many of our allies and supporters that come together to make projects like this possible. A huge effort from the team here at the City of Lynn. I want to thank Andy Hall and the team at DPW. Our city solicitor, George Markopoulos, and his team. Jamie Marsh and Community Development. Chief Reddy in the Lynn Police Department. My team, John Thibault, Daniel Smith, Valerie Vaughn. As well as our partners on the City Council. Council President Jay Walsh has been a huge champion of this project, as well as some of the ward councilors whose project it runs through. Ward 4, Councilor Natasha Meji-Madri, Ward 5, Councilor Diane Chakoudas, and Ward 6, Councilor Fred Hogan. Great work. I'd also like to thank supporters on the council, Councilor at Large Nicole McLean, Ward 2, Councilor Obed Matul, as well as the federal delegation. We have a representative here from Congressman Seth Moulton's office. This is a huge project. It's a big deal, and it expands. You heard the Secretary talking about how it gives us more options. It broadens and expands what we think about when we think about transit and transportation. So it's expansive in the sense that it's adding modes of transport, making it easier for this in this protected lane for bikes and for pedestrians. It's broad and expansive, and then this is a lot of work. And it had to happen in each of several communities along the way. So it's expansive in that it cuts across several communities. It's broad and expansive in that it's taken decades for it to come to fruition, and wouldn't have happened without us reaching across to one another and building these coalitions and partnerships. And I think it's expansive in that it's a transit project that improves the efficiency, but it's, as the Secretary mentioned, it's also an environmental project and helps in our efforts to address our climate issues. It's a recreation project. It gives us more space to have those moments of diversion and connection with our loved ones. I can tell you, my boys and I are huge fans of the bike path and the linear park that's now there. It's an economic development project. I also want to thank, wasn't able to be here, but our planning department, because they played a huge role in this as well. But it's an economic development project, and it helps us stitch back together our downtown from one of our most amazing resources here in the Atlantic Ocean. To make that connection. And it's a public health project to have more opportunities for physical exercise and keeping ourselves healthy. And I think it's expansive in the way we think about the people it serves. Yes, it helps us move from one point to another in the sense that it's a transit project. But it also sees us as whole people that are doing more than just getting around, that want to be able to feel the ocean breeze of the Atlantic Ocean, to see up close and personal the fascinating texture of our urban architecture here in downtown Lynn, to hear the sound of fun and children playing in that beautiful park on the linear park, and to expand that concept of what it means to be a transit project. And so when we do that, when we think expansively and broadly, we, I think, follow the advice of one of America's greatest poets, Walt Whitman, in his Song of the Open Road, to know the universe itself as a road, as many roads, as roads for traveling souls. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. And these projects, these are often close collaborations with our partners at both DCR and EEA, and it's really a pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Stephanie Cooper, who's the Undersecretary for the Environment at EEA. Undersecretary Cooper and I go way back. We worked together many years ago when we were both at DCR, and have collaborated many times over the years on a variety of issues. And Stephanie now, as Undersecretary, is in charge of working across the agencies of EEA to do many things, including the work that has led to this project here today, but also things such as clean energy, climate, economic development, as the Mayor mentioned, and other really important things that are being implemented at EEA. And again, a lot of cross-collaboration between the environmental agencies and MassDOT. We work very closely on many of our projects, which is why how so many of these projects come out so well. So please welcome to the podium Undersecretary Stephanie Cooper.
Well, hello, I'm happy to be here. I feel like I have been in Lynn a number of times recently celebrating conservation, recreation, climate resilience projects, all of which are so inspiring. And inevitably, I follow the mayor at the podium, and that is a really hard act to follow, but it's fun. And every time I'm waiting to see what really interesting thing is he going to quote now, and he never disappoints. So anyway, we are really excited to be part of this celebration of the final section of the Northern Strand Trail. This trail has been a priority for the state writ large, as we've talked about in our partnership across state government, but for EEA also in particular, recognizing the potential of the project. And that's why we were so excited to fund the design, permitting, and construction of the 10.5 miles of the Northern Strand that opened in 2022 between Western Avenue in Lynn and the Mystic River, where the mayor's been riding his bike with his kids, and all of you have too. I've been enjoying that. And so also on behalf of the Healy Driscoll's administration's Mass Trails team, of which all of our agencies are members, we provided the funding for the public engagement, design, and permitting for this trail that we're breaking ground on today. So what, and this has already been said so well, but we're collectively building is a transportation and a recreational asset and a climate resilience asset, and it's for people of all ages and abilities. It is about connection, but it's also about making good on the commitment that everybody should have a place to get outside, right? To get a breath of fresh air, to relax, to exercise, to connect with the nature that's around us, and that's what we're about too. And that's an important sort of statewide goal for all of us. And one reason why the Northern Strand is such an important investment, and Secretary Tibbits-Nutt had some statistics related to this too, that over 110,000 people live within half a mile of the trail. And most of them meet one of the criteria for environmental justice population. So those are folks for whom we haven't invested and done enough as government, and we're trying to make up for that by doing. And that's really important. And so that, this trail is a unique investment, and it has unique multiple benefits in that regard. And we don't know of anywhere else in the state where there's so many people live so close to this shared resource and can take advantage of it on a daily basis. So as you can imagine, and as you've heard from the prior speakers, but I'll just make a couple more thank yous. There's so many people involved in making something like this happen. And as I look out at this crowd, I realize everybody who's here had a role in some way, and that's just pretty cool to say. But I'll recognize a few folks. I think the mayor recognized the Solomon Foundation and Herb Nolan for their support of the design process early on. We're going to hear from Bike to the Sea, but we were so inspired by your advocacy and your vision for this trail, and so happy to be able to help make it a reality. I also want to recognize my colleague, DCR Commissioner Brian Arrigo, who was not able to be with us today, but is our host. The land that we're standing on is stewarded by DCR, and his Deputy Chief of Staff, Johnny Hill, is here with us today. And DCR is an important supporter and host of the Northern Strand Trail. I also want to recognize Kurt Gertner, Assistant Secretary for Environmental Policy, who is a part of our Mass Trails team and has managed the funding that EEA contributed. And we've had some incredible designers and consultants who help with the project. So the team at Brown, Richardson, and Rowe are landscape architects, and Stantec consulting engineers. So between them, they designed what all of you envisioned that MassDOT will now build. So with that, I would say I feel like the rest of it has really all been said. But let me just end by saying that we're so proud to be part of this vision becoming a reality, and excited to be here celebrating it with all of you today. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. And we do a lot of these trails and shared use paths and such across the state, and we always draw a good crowd. And I'd say this: I always see that there's two common things in each one of these projects. First, when these projects are completed, they are absolutely adored by the community with which they reside. People use them, they love them, they add to the community. It's a really big deal. The other thing that I think I have found, and I know many of you who do a lot of work on trails and paths know this, is that the process to get them off the ground is long and difficult, and it takes a champion to really move them along. And our next speaker is that champion, and really needs no introduction to this crowd. Since 1993, again, long and hard process to get these off the ground. Since 1993, Bike to the Sea's mission has been to create the Northern Strand Community Trail, a trail free of cars from Everett to the beaches of Lynn and Nahant. That dream is now a reality, and this trail it will be utilized as a commuter recreation corridor through Everett, Lynn, Revere, Malden, Saugus. However, Bike to the Sea, like MassDOT, recognize the value in extending and updating that path. So, representing Bike to the Sea, please join me in welcoming Agnesricado to the podium. Agnes.
Thank you, Jonathan, for that wonderful introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Agnesricado. I'm the program manager at the nonprofit organization Bike to the Sea. I'm thrilled to be here today representing the board and membership of Bike to the Sea, as well as our Executive Director, Jonah Chiarenza. This project is a realization of the vision of our organization's founders and over 30 years of persistent advocacy. We sincerely thank all of those who brought this project to fruition, including the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, the Department of Conservation and Recreation, the City of Lynn, and those citizens who advocated for the project in public meetings. We also thank the private foundations, sponsors, and citizens who have supported the efforts of Bike to the Sea over the years. We see the completion of this project not as an ending, but a new beginning as we partner with our diverse communities to enhance the benefits of the trail for health, safety, environment, economic development, and recreation purposes. We look forward to riding the extension with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Agnes. And that's the end of our speaking program. And again, you know, I really want to thank all of our speakers here today, the Secretary, the Mayor, the Undersecretary, Agnes. You know, this is a great project. And when completed, the corridor will consist of many, many improvements for the community that we're really looking forward to. And we've thanked a lot of people today, but I do want to thank one more. And these projects can't happen if you don't have somebody construct it. So our contractor, Tropiano is going to be constructing this for us, working with the district, making sure things happen. So I want to thank our contractor here as well today, too. And we're looking forward again to coming back in 2026 for the ribbon cutting. But until then, I'm going to invite everybody over here for us to do the groundbreaking.
One thing
Thank you.
that wasn't mentioned is community gardens along the trail. That was not mentioned, so I wanted to just say.
Thank you.